Yes, okay, very good. You can tell who the CEO is. He appreciates that sponsorship, so that's great. Tonight, as I've promised you, we would have over the course of the semester business leaders from a variety of different industries, backgrounds, and experiences. And tonight we will keep that going, right? So last week we had a fairly technical kind of thing. You learned a lot about the cellular telephone industry and heard from Jeff Stoops, who's a great guy. Tonight we have another great guy in a very different sort of industry, but one you've probably all seen, and many of you may have actually been his customers so far. I know I have been. So tonight we have a guy who has also been one of the pillars of the business community here in South Florida. Keith Koenig is a very proud graduate of the University of Florida, and with his brother Kevin, who was a very proud graduate of FAU, they got started in the furniture business. And if I'm not mistaken, Kevin started selling waterbeds out of the back of a van back in the 70s, early 80s. Is that?
71.
71. Very good. Story. Very good. So great. I'm glad you'll share that. So they're a great example of starting from the ground up and building a business. Now, Keith is the CEO of City Furniture, right off campus. Does anybody here work for City Furniture? I thought we had at least one employee of City Furniture. Do we have anybody that's bought anything at City Furniture? All right, there we go. All right, good. He'll be happy at that. No, Keith is a great guy. So he's the president of City Furniture, and they have 30 showrooms across South Florida and Central Florida under two brands, City Furniture and Ashley Home Store. You've got his bio, so we can look at this, but he's received numerous awards, including the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award, the University of Florida MBA Outstanding Alumnus Award, the Furniture Retailer of the Year Award. He's a board member of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta in the Miami branch, and as many of you may remember from your economics classes, the Federal Reserve manages our monetary policy, and as part of managing monetary policy, they interact with business leaders to see what's really happening in their areas of business so they make better decisions with better information. So Keith is one of the leaders that they talk to about that. He's also chairman of the Holy Cross Hospital Board and chairman of the Broward Workshop. The Broward Workshop is a group that he may talk about a little bit, but it's, in my informal sense, some of the most powerful business leaders in Broward County that have gotten together and tried to identify areas of critical need, particularly in Broward County, and then do something about it. He is also a member of the Orange Bowl Committee and the Council of 100 in Florida. So these are all positions of great influence and indicate the respect within which he is held in the community. He's active in a lot of other organizations, including the University of Florida Foundation, of which he is a past board chair. He was also made a Knight of St. Gregory by Pope John Paul II, and he currently resides in Plantation, Florida with his wife, Kelly. Keith has 2 children and 5 grandchildren, and I will tell you that when I first came here, I'll give you a personal anecdote before I turn it over and let him talk. So I came, and Keith was one of the first CEOs that welcomed me as the business dean to South Florida. And so I went out and met him and some of his people. His vice president for human resources, Janet Winscoe, is a graduate of FAU, and she serves on our dean's advisory board. So introduced us, helped me integrate into the business community here, but also showed me their operation. And while we're all familiar with the furniture showroom and kind of going in and seeing the various things, they have a very extensive program, including Six Sigma, which is a way of organizing processes to be sure you're very efficient and that furniture comes in, it gets unwrapped, it gets put in the right place in the minimum amount of time with minimal damages. They track everything. It's very, very advanced, but it also maintains a small company feel. So in walking around with him around his company, I was amazed. He knew everybody in the company. He's the guy that would walk around here and say, "Hey, Greg, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing?" He knows everybody by name. They all know him. It was obvious that they all enjoyed working there. It's very productive. And then he did the same thing he talked about here. When I saw him the second time, I said, "Hey, this is great." My wife and I went there, and we found a beautiful console table for the entrance to our condo, in which case he said, "Here, give me a big hug." So here's a warning to everyone. If you're his customer, he will give you a hug. But he's a great guy. We're so glad he's given of his time to be here with us tonight and share a little bit about his business and his philosophy. Please join me in welcoming Keith Koenig.
Thank you, Dean Gropper. Give it up for the Dean. You got a great Dean here. And I've gotten to know John Kelly. He's a member of the Broward Workshop, too. You're president. You got a great president. So FAU is on fire. You guys are in the right spot, right time, everything. And I'm delighted to be here. And we're going to have some fun tonight. You don't want to hear me talk for an hour and sit there. You'll doze off otherwise. So we're going to make this interactive. So I want to get some questions going along the way. My goal is to share with you what I've learned over the past 40-some years in business in 40 minutes. And then my goal is to learn from you some things that are going to benefit me and that will share all of us together. Okay? Kind of a two-way deal. I'm going to share everything I know and everything I've learned, and I'll be happy to answer any questions along the way. But I'm going to tell you a story. Is anybody here working in a hotel as a bellman? As a bellman? Nobody's working here as a hotel and as a bellman? Well, my older brother, Kevin, who passed away in 2001. Sick for a long time, blessings. But he was about 4.5 years older than me. Graduated first male in our family to go to college. Went to Broward, went to FSU, and then came back to South Florida, where we grew up in Oakland Park, to get an MBA at FAU. 1971, he worked his way through college, MBA program here at FAU as a bellman. While he did that, he saved about $4,000 or $5,000. And he used that money to start a little waterbed store on the corner of Commercial Boulevard and Dixie Highway in Oakland Park, and he named it Waterbed City. What do you think the family said when he opened a little waterbed? Graduates, MBA, saved his money, opens a little waterbed store in Oakland Park in 1971. What do you think? What do you think the family said? Are you crazy? Thank you. You're right. Are you crazy? I think you've heard this story, though, right? But he wasn't crazy. He was an entrepreneur. Does anybody here have interest in maybe becoming an entrepreneur at some point in time? Maybe. Don't write it off, because there's opportunities abound. So don't tell me you can't accomplish anything you want to accomplish in this great country of ours. Don't tell me there's an unlevel playing field. You can do anything you want in this life of yours because you've been gifted to be here. You're making the smartest investment in your time and your money and your energy advancing your education. And I'd argue that probably this program is definitely on the rise, but it's not only the best value you could ever get with the investment that you're making, but it'll open unlimited doors to you. We'll get back to that later. So 1971, Kevin wasn't crazy, he was an entrepreneur. He just was dumb enough not to know what not to do. And he opened this little waterbed store. So overnight success, right? No, not at all. I remember I started working with him the summer of 1972. I still remember that summer. Our goal was to do $1,200 in sales a week. $1,200 a week. If you eat enough peanut butter and save every penny, you can make it a go. And that's what we had to do. We saved up enough. I went back to the University of Florida after that summer, and we became partners in 1975. By the end of 1975, we had 3 little Waterbed City stores. We're doing about $25,000 a month. And here's a trick question. We advertised on AM rock and roll radio, WSRF, I still remember we paid $7 per spot, like a radio spot, 60 seconds. Come into Waterbed City, we got a sale going on this weekend. Why do you think we advertise on AM rock and roll radio? Pardon me?
They like waterbeds.
They like waterbeds. Well, that's right. Why AM radio? Why AM rock and roll? Because they're tired.
It goes the farthest.
It goes the farthest? Because it was cheaper? Yes, sir? Bunch of dads listen to it. Okay. Bingo! There was no FM. When you got in a car, it was only an AM radio and it had a push button. Thank you. Good answer. So AM rock and roll radio, Waterbed City. We cut the waterbed frames at night behind the store and sold them during the day. But we made a go of it, and we were having fun. It was the most fun you could possibly have. We were selling waterbeds to a lot of people, and business grew and grew. And then we brought, I got an MBA at the University of Florida, degree in accounting. We brought professional business stuff. What you're learning here in those books, we brought them to the crazy waterbed business. And you know what? Waterbeds were a good product. Still are. Brought them back recently. I've never slept on anything else. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. True story. But we sold waterbeds, and then we brought professional business skills to our business. Sales training. We had to sell waterbeds, so we had to be able to teach our new associates how to sell them effectively. Accounting systems, warehousing systems, marketing, branding, human resources. And the business grew in the 70s and the 80s. In 1988, we had our peak year. But along the way, in the late 70s, we got into computers. What we now call IT. Back then, it was just computers. We had to lease the first IBM small computer. And it wasn't small, it was the size of a Volkswagen. It was called the IBM System 32. But we were smart enough to know, we don't know how to use this, but if we have better information, we can run our little waterbed business better. And it grew from 2, 3, 5, we got up to about 14 stores in 1988. We started investing in real estate. Started buying our stores, building, renovating. We started building a bigger team and had to be able to learn how to do all that. So what you're learning here, wherever you go, is going to benefit you because it benefited us. And it opens doors and gives you competitive advantage against people that don't study as hard as you do. So don't just get your MBA, get your education. So the 70s and 80s, waterbeds got hotter. We got up to about 20-some% market share of beds sold in the United States. In the late 80s, that started to change. In 1988, we had our most successful year, $35 million in sales, probably had 400 people working in the company, 12 stores maybe, good profitability. 1989, sales went down 11% for the first time. And what I want to make sure that you get from this is, whatever's happening in the world right now, whatever business you get in, whatever you choose to do with your life, be ready to change. Is change going to happen? Nod your head, because it absolutely is. Absolutely. Whatever business there is, change happens. So we realized pretty shortly, have you passed a waterbed store lately? Anybody here got a waterbed? Okay, I do. Well, the world changed, and waterbeds were good products. 70s and 80s, we built a good business, but in 1990, we got the handwriting on the wall. Why is this important? Just to make you aware that change is going to be a part of your life. You know that. But when you're facing a business where you've got all your money tied up in a business with a name that says Waterbed City on the front door, and waterbed sales start to decline to a point where this is not working. You got to be prepared to change. So we reinvented the business. Now, it was not easy. It was the hardest thing. We had to change everything. We had to change our store size. We had to change our brand. We came up with City Furniture. How do you think we came up with City Furniture? Well, we couldn't keep Waterbed, and it was Waterbed City, and we wanted to hold on to a transition. So we came up with City Furniture. To make a long story short, we opened our first City Furniture store in 1994. We had to change everything. Warehousing, product line, marketing, markup. With waterbeds, we could have a pretty high markup structure because people didn't know what a waterbed cost. Even though it was very affordable, we had a good margin. And furniture, we had to go in and compete with the world's largest. We opened up right next to the world's largest furniture store next door to us. It's called Levitt's. And guess what? David beat Goliath. We opened up right next to them in North Miami. But my point is we had to change everything to reinvent City Furniture. And when you have a problem like that, here's another learning that I got. One of the most important learnings I've ever got was, that I want to share with you, is problems are often opportunities in disguise. Problems are often opportunities in disguise. The problem we faced was waterbeds were going away. Like it or not, the reality of the world. You think we were nervous about that? Yeah, we were real nervous. But it gave us forced us to reinvent our business. And when you reinvent, you get to start to say, well, what do we want to be? And we came up with a vision. You're going to learn, you've probably already learned this in your business and entrepreneurship classes. What's the vision for the company? And the vision, we said, let's be the ultimate furniture store. Not in our eyes, but in her eyes, or his eyes, our customer's eyes. What do they want? If you start there and say, what does the customer want, or your potential customer, where's the opportunity, then your business flows from that. And then we said, well, if we want to be the ultimate furniture store, translate that to a mission statement. You probably learned that in entrepreneurship too, but a mission statement simply says, what is your business all about? And we wrote a very simple mission statement that we recite every day in our company. Every day, every work group goes over our mission, vision, values, and stories. And we celebrate our associates, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the mission is pretty simple. Okay, yes, sir?
Keeping the word city in your name, was that to hold on to some of your marketing?
Yeah, we were trying to hold on to a lifeline. Because we had, you've seen those poker shows? I scan through the channels. Every once in a while I see, one of the World Series of Poker. And what is that when they get all the chips? All in. Everything we could borrow, everything we had, everything we saved, and we're savers. You know, a guy that worked his way through FAU MBA program as a bellman and saved up $4,000 or $5,000 to start a business in 1971, you think he was a saver? He was a saver. And don't tell me you can't save. Don't tell me. You can do it. It's just a matter of choices. It's decisions. That's the reality of the world. Most people choose not. We're savers. And so we had a pretty big bankroll, but we had to lean on a banker. It wasn't Greg, but it was a good guy from SunTrust. And they gave us the maximum line they could give us, which was a couple $1 million back then. He wants to loan us about $25 million. I'm just saying, back then the chips were all in. The chips were all in, so we had to reinvent the business from Waterbed City to City Furniture. And we executed our mission statement. City Furniture, the ultimate furniture store, provides quality home furnishings, because she wants quality, he wants quality, at excellent value, with friendly, efficient service, in an exciting and fun environment. Because when we shopped most furniture stores back then, they were boring. And so we've tried to increase, we've tried to live that mission statement every day since. We were the first ones to bring music videos in furniture stores. You might think, what's the big deal about that? It was a big deal back then. It was revolutionary. There wasn't the technology to run TVs throughout music videos through all the showrooms very easy. Now we're reinventing our business some more. Our Boca Raton showroom will soon, we've been tested at 2 other stores, one in Miami, one out our HQ. Our little cafe, maybe if you've been into our showrooms, you see the cookies and the coffee drinks and the iced tea that's free and all that kind of stuff, is now becoming, the KC Cafe is now getting reinvented. We're going to blow it up. It becomes KC Cafe and Wine Bar. Yeah, every woman says that. That's a good idea. You know, the only woman that has ever not said that's a good idea was a banker, and she was in charge of a credit. She was a credit underwriter for a banker. She was a little stiff. But we're reinventing the business. My point is, you got to keep reinventing. So we started City Furniture in 1994. All the chips in, opened the first day, Levitt's on one side, and another new company that had sold, the family had sold their business for hundreds of millions of dollars up in New York City, the family business, come to Florida and reinvented their business, and they called it Rooms to Go. Rooms to Go on one side, City Furniture in the middle, Levitt's on the other. So, question for you guys. Why get in the middle of 2 tough competitors? Give them a third option. What? Co-opetition. Yes, sir?
That way, whenever the customers being mom and pops are going to walk into your store.
Yeah, want to walk in. Competition is the best thing in the world. That's why we're in the best country in the world. It fosters competition. If you don't compete, you don't deserve to succeed. If you can't work at it and provide more value in the retail world, and we went from nowhere to successful right away. But our prices were sharp, our product was right, and our delivery was quick, and our people were nice, and the shopping experience was better. And Levitt's went out of business because they were pompous, overpriced, and didn't react to customers, and really didn't care. So some big companies sometimes lose their mojo, and they had lost theirs a long time. So we didn't put them out of business. They put themselves out of business. So we opened up the first store. Yes, sir?
You were talking about when you had Waterbed City, you guys had gotten leased the first computer. When you guys reinvented as City Furniture, did you guys continue to test the technology market, or did you kind of lose faith in it? Or?
Oh, no. So the question is about technology. We started with an IBM System 32. We went from the IBM, and IBM only leases. They like getting that monthly stream of revenue. But back then they did. And so we get to the System 32, to the System 34, to the System 36. They kept getting more powerful and do more things. No, I'll cut to that. Remind me to come back to this, because in terms of technology, we are now a technology company that happens to sell furniture. And every business needs to become a technology company, whatever product or service you sell, because it unleashes the potential and offers competitive value to the customer. How we use in technology, most of you guys have got iPads or the similar. All of our sales associates got everything right there, Transact. But they can now be working with a client, a guest in a sofa setting or a sectional that the guest is interested in, and transact everything. Financing, book the delivery, show them all the furniture, color options, build the invoice in seconds because of technology. Technology is improving our business in every which way. But no, that was the beginning. So message would be, please don't be afraid to start, even when it seems insurmountable. Please don't be afraid to start. Whatever the journey is, whether it's technology or learning in something else. Yes, sir?
What year did you transition into technology?
And what year did we transition into becoming a technology company?
Yes.
it hasn't, I can't look at a year, but I can say the momentum has been building over the last 5 years, and particularly over the last 4 years. I was with our CIO at a big technology conference, and somebody, this was the first time I heard that, somebody up speaking in front of a large group of CIOs was saying, your company needs to be a technology company. And I looked at our CIO, who Greg knows very well, Steve Wilder, who's a brilliant guy, and I said, we got a lot of work to do. 4 years later, we're a technology company. We weren't back then. We were on the road, and we are going to only get a lot better. And it's going to unleash so much better customer experience, better efficiencies, less problems, because problems are part of every business. Okay, so back to City Furniture opens up in 94. In 95, we converted our waterbed stores, and one at a time over the next 15 years, because we, by the way, the first $4,000 that Kevin started with, that's the sum total of the capital investment in our business. We've never had a penny of outside capital. Banks loan us money, but we only finance property with mortgages. It's like buying a home, and we buy property and build buildings and use bank financing. Everything else has been internally generated and saved. So another important message that you need to hear, that you probably know, but if you want to own your own business, a lot of people think you own your own business, you get to pull a lot of money out. No, that's not the way it works. Not for a long time. I hate to tell you. You have to plow every penny back in, at least to get it going, for a long, until you have sufficient resources. Why do you think I say that? From experience. Because what's the weather like outside tonight? Pretty nice, right? Everybody come in? Clear night? You think storms are coming? They are. I promise you they are. And that's why you need to save your money, and you got to plow back into the business. You see business, if they want to be around a long time, we started in 1971, so here it is, 47 years later, we're blessed to still be here. Thank you for the wonderful customers. We get a big hug, big hug. But my message is you got to keep plowing the money back in. And that's what we did. Once we start City Furniture, we converted stores, and one at a time build new stores. So now we've got almost 30 stores. We have 30 stores when you count the ones that are under construction, and we own almost all the real estate. And you know, you hang around long enough, you pay it down. It's nice when they get paid off. And so we own a lot of property that are paid off. And that gives us a solid foundation to be able to grow. So the 70s and 80s, waterbeds. 90s, start City Furniture. 2000, growing like crazy. Our sales went, 1994, when we started City Furniture, $45 million. Next year, $65 million. Next year, 86, 84. Next year, 96, 112, 130, 145, 160, got up to 200, got up to 346 in 2006. What happened in 2007, 8, and 9 in Florida? Big storm. Nice days in the 2000 until then? Big storm. What happened? Lehman Brothers goes out, series of financial collapses. Our country's financial system was close to the brink. But we have a lot of resources in the United States, and we got a lot of smart people. And they made the right decisions and stabilized the economy. But housing sales plummeted, and people buy furniture a lot when they're buying a new house. Housing went down. We are the supplier to D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton, if you've heard of them, is the #1 home builder in the United States. We do their models across South Florida, and now we're going to get them up across other parts of Florida because we're going to open up in Orlando. D.R. Horton, in the peak year, did, in 2006, sold nationally 55,000 homes. That's almost 200 homes a day. About 3 years later, at the bottom of the recession, guess how many homes they went to from 55? Anybody want to guess? 10. 10,000 homes from 55. That's an 85% decline of a national #1 selling company, big storm. Be prepared for change. That, by the way, was the worst financial crisis that our country has seen, and it hit Florida harder than any place. But you know what? We made money 2 out of the 3 years. Didn't make a lot. And over 3 years, we did okay. I mean, we made money. Pennies. But we had our head above water. Business has to stay, you have to have resources to stay afloat in a tumultuous sea. And that's a message I want to make sure that you get, because out of what I've learned, that's an important part of it. I do not believe we're going to see that kind of cataclysmic recession again. We had gone through tons of recessions before that, so don't be afraid. Most of the recessions were, does anybody know what the definition of a recession is? 2 quarters of declining GDP growth. GDP, gross domestic product, in other words, the economy. 2 quarters where we actually slid backwards. Could be 1/10 of 1%. That's a recession. Most recessions we didn't even feel. And I'm not making light of them. I'm just here to say the last one was tough. Took a lot of businesses out and caused a lot of pain. But what I want you to share is change happens. Be prepared to take a punch financially in a business and be a part of a business that has a solid foundation. And the only way to get a solid foundation is win the lottery or reinvest in your business with the profits that you earn. And I don't like the win the lottery strategy at all. So 70s, 80s waterbeds. Convert to furniture, 1994, 2000. Late 2000, recession. Our business went from $346 million in 2006 to $292 million in 2007 to $228 million in 2008 to $208 million in 2009. Tough. In retail, pretty hard to take. And we opened 2 big new stores over in Naples and Fort Myers. Right now, this year, we'll have a record year, about $404 million. We employ about 1,700 associates. We expect to do $501 million next year. Everybody's doing a high five in our company. For next year, we did our planning. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, and there was another gentleman that had a question. The gentleman first, and then the lady.
Yes, so was one of your reasons why you also wanted to reinvest in your company just for actually obviously being able to avoid having to
Is the reason to reinvest to avoid taxes? Is that the question? Okay, well, from an income standpoint, when you make income in the business, you got, whether you take it out or not, you got to pay, the government wants their share. So if we make X millions of dollars this year, we have to pay the government their fair share, which is a tax rate right now of 39%, less some current tax deductions on the tax change. We don't save taxes by reinvesting, so the money stays in there. The sole purpose is to be able to grow the business and to build stability so that when times of trouble come, and I'm not gloom and doom. Hey, we're investing full speed. We're going to grow our business like crazy. I'm just here to say you can't predict when a storm might come. I don't know. The people in Wilmington, they didn't think Florence was coming their way 2 weeks ago, but it is. You got to deal with it. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, from Fort Myers,
Why Naples and Fort Myers? Why did we open City Furniture and Ashley? We opened Ashley combo stores side by side in both Naples and Fort Myers because a lot of people are moving there. It's a great market. There's tons of people there, and we thought we could do a lot of business. And why Orlando? Lots of people there. It's growing like crazy. Guess what? You want to be in the best place in the planet? You're in it. Seriously. You're the best place in the world. I'll get to you. 1 second. Let me just tell you a story. I'm coming back from Asia on one of my many trips over there. I've been to Asia 50 times, going, visiting factories, building relationships, shopping, etc. I'm flying back. I'm never moving from my house and plantation. It's home for me. But I'm flying back and I'm thinking, if I could live anywhere in the world, not theoretically, if I was a young person like you and I didn't have any place to go, what country would I move to? And I thought to myself, Italy's pretty cool. France is nice. I'd come to the United States for sure. Love the United States is better. If you could live in any state, the country, in this state in the United States, where would you live? A lot of good ones. California's got a lot going for it. No, move to Florida. If you're going to live in Florida, where would you live? Jacksonville's okay. Gets colder up there. Orlando's not bad. No beach. Tampa's not bad. No ocean. I moved to South Florida. Honest to God. I woke up and I said, I live in the best place in the world. I believe that. So back to, you had a question, I think there was another question. Somebody had something. Yes, ma'am. Okay, good question. So in we've done business with the Wanek family to own Ashley Furniture for 100 years, for a long, long time. It's a great guy. Father and son run a great business. Largest furniture company in the world. $5 billion in revenue. Now the largest chain of retail stores, of which we are a licensee. There's franchise and there's licensee, and there's legal aspects to both of them. We don't pay a franchise fee like McDonald's pays into a fee that McDonald's runs. They pay a portion of their revenues. We just buy their furniture and run the store under the Ashley Home Store brand. And we were friends for a long time. They started this Ashley Home Store concept, and I didn't like the early ones. The early ones were not good. But these guys follow the same program we are, which is really lean management. And it's all about continuous improvement. So whatever they do, wherever they are, they're going to get better next year. And wherever they are, they're going to get better next year. And so I'd go to see some of the newer Ashley Home Stores, Ashley Furniture Home Stores, and I went, wow, that's pretty good. And I hear from, this is a funny story. I'm friends with Jeff Seaman. He's the CEO of Rooms to Go. And this is before we signed the deal, right before we signed the deal to do Ashley in South Florida. And Jeff calls me. He says, Keith, is Ashley Home Stores coming to South Florida? And I don't have a deal yet, so I can't say anything about it. I said, Jeff, not yet. He said, good, they're really hard to compete with. The next time I saw him, we had signed a deal to become the Ashley licensee, and he looked at me and I go, I didn't have the deal done. I couldn't tell you. But it's a great brand. They're a great manufacturer. So what's the difference between City and Ashley? They're another great brand of line of furniture. Furniture is fashion. It's just like your apparel in a lot of ways. You might like a purple sofa with tufting in velvet, and you might like, a brown sectional, or a leather sofa, or a green reclining sectional. We got to offer a lot of choices, so it gives us more choices. I also like to say, if you were a Honda dealer and you could get the Toyota franchise or the Toyota dealership for your area, would you want to get it? You would. Why would you want to get it? You already got the Honda dealer. Own the competition. You're in the car business or in the transportation business. It's another brand. And if you got it, where would you put it? Down the street? Right next door. Why right next door? If somebody comes in looking for a Camry and goes out with a Accord, are you happy? You bet. So that's why we put City and Ashley side by side. And every time we do that, we go to #1 market share in that neighborhood. We're #1 market share across all of South Florida. And I'm happy to say this is one of the few markets in the country that Rooms to Go's where they compete, they're not the #1 player. So 2000, recession, now we're back to rebuilding. Now we're in a period where the slingshot is about ready to go off. We've built the team, and everything has to go together. The building of the business, the real estate, the sales, the merchandising, the technology. So I want to start asking you guys some questions. Let me finish up by saying we're opening up in Orlando. 3 big stores, wine bar, a lot of home accents in there. Stores that are 25% larger than the biggest combination stores we've ever done. Huge destination from very, 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 very affordable prices to Bernhardt, our top-of-the-line premium brand. And I want to share some of that with you because I want to get your insight. I want to get your insight. You guys are all going to be our, potential customers in the future, and you can really help me out by giving me your honest insight. So let me change gears and ask you a question. Let's just say, and I want to reinforce, you're making the best investment of your life, what you're doing here. Work hard at it, get everything you can out of it, because I promise you it will benefit you for years to come. And you'll be proud to know that you've got a graduate degree. It'll separate you from folks who haven't. And I promise you it's probably, the older you get, the more you learn, right? You're just more mature, and you're able to learn better than you ever were before. But here's my question to you. Think in yourself, say it's 2 years from now, after you graduate, you're in a good position, whatever job or career or entrepreneurship or business that you want to be in, and it's working out okay, and everything looks pretty good. The progress has been good. Tell me, if you were, at that time, just think about in the future, if you're going to buy a new, or you're moving into a new place, apartment or condo or house, and you were going to buy some new furniture. I want an honest answer. Raise your hand if you would buy most or all of your furniture online. It's okay. Keep them up. Keep them up. Keep them up. I really need this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I miss anybody? 7. All right. Change gears. You're going to go out and buy new furniture. Raise your hand if you would, before you went out to go out and buy or shop in a store, you would shop online. Raise your hand if you would shop online. But still go to a store. You do your research online. All right, big hug. Hug. On behalf of those of us, we're investing heavily on e-commerce, so we're prepared. If we're prepared for the 7 of you who want to buy everything online, we want you to come to shop us. But we know there's other competitors there, just like there are other competitors for retail stores. We're not the only furniture. There's countless furniture retailers in the marketplace that we got to compete with. Now, I will tell you, this is the 3rd time to 3 different groups that I've asked that same question. And I've told every CEO, retail and manufacturer in the furniture industry that I come here and speak to you every couple of years, not you, you today, a different group 2 years ago, and a different group 2 years before that. And I've asked the same question. And I've asked the CEO, I've said, Greg? How many hands went up? And they looked panicked. I got no idea. Half. They're young. They're all young people? I said, yeah, they're all young people. I said, 80%. I said, no. First year, 4. 2 years ago, 6. I was predicting 8. Maybe I missed somebody. But the reality is, so tell me, those of you who said, no, I wouldn't buy all my furniture online. Yes, sir. Why you wouldn't?
How am I going to tell it's comfortable or not?
How am I going to tell if it's comfortable or not? Okay. Somebody who would buy online would say, well, I could see a video. Yes, ma'am. Looks different in person. Yeah. Yes, sir. Quality. You can tell the quality. Yes, sir.
I was going to say that.
Yes, yes.
Big investment.
Big investment. Somebody else have something to say? Yes, ma'am.
I would be worried about the measurements, but it didn't fit in my house.
Measurements would fit in a house.
Sometimes you can find the same thing in the scratch and dent section over there for about 40%.
You know what? That's true. Yes, sir.
You can visualize the room because there's all this other furniture in the showroom as well, so you can.
You can visualize it better in the showroom as well. Yes, sir.
Making a return would be really difficult. I know, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Returns. Returns can be more difficult. Yes, sir.
Well, I have a hard time paying $4.99 for shipping. I wouldn't want to pay shipping for a couch.
You don't want to pay shipping? Well, we got free shipping, by the way. So that, you know what? The fun thing, you guys are getting started on the most fun thing in the world. It's the game of business. It's a game. It's fun. If you keep your eyes open and to be creative and be able to figure out how to do. Did we want to offer free shipping 4 years ago when we started free shipping? We charged for delivery. Do we want to offer free shipping? Shake your head no. We were, we want to stay. Everybody else charges for free for shipping in South Florida furniture stores. We're the only one that does free shipping. You think we gain business? Yeah. Our comps, you know what comp sales are? Same store sales. Our comps for the last few years have been off the charts. Huge. Because if you listen to the customer and you find out what they want and you figure out a way to give it to them, even if it hurts a little. So now, here's something we're working on. God bless him. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, we're all customers, right? Runs a great business. Guess where they have gone in furniture? Where they have had the most success? You wouldn't guess. Couldn't guess. How could it? Stupid question for me to ask. They have gone after very inexpensive mattresses and rolled up in a box. Very inexpensive for people who don't really want something. They don't want to spend a lot because they're not going to be using it forever. Maybe it's going in the kids' room. Maybe it's going in the guest bedroom. You don't want the mother-in-law staying forever anyway. And it's easy. Everybody in my world is saying, I don't want that. I mean, we can't make any money at that. We're going to lose money at it. We're going after it. You know what I tell you to my team? Fight or flee. Fight or flee. You know what I mean? Fight them and compete or flee. We choose to fight. So we're bringing in this whole line of inexpensive furniture. You're going to see stuff. We are rolling out $299 sofas. We'll have a $99 queen-size mattress. I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world. It isn't. But you know what? No, waterbed's the best. I'll tell you about that. But the reality is we've got to give the customer what they want. We'll be very clear. They'll get a chance to see it before. They're not going to see it before they buy from Amazon. They're going to see it in our stores. If they want it, we're going to say, we beat Amazon every day. And we'll beat them. We're changing to free shipping on all mattresses next day. Amazon can't do that. And I said, and they're not going to have a wine bar on their website. So you got to figure out ways to compete, right? And we got to figure out, last night we had wine and design at our Tamarack showroom. There was 50 ladies there having 2 glasses of wine and flatbreads. And do you think it works having a furniture store with 50 ladies with wine glasses in their hands? Ladies, tell me. Does that work? With a chocolate chip cookie, right? So that's some of my story. City furniture, yes, sir.
You said one option is lowering down the price, making it easier for consumers to get your product.
I'll repeat the question.
What are you doing now to tackle the health problem? Because sleep is an important part of our health. Are you incorporating the technology within the mattress to
Okay, question is, what are we doing about health problems regarding sleep? That you just threw me a softball. I can hit that one out of the park. And this is interesting. I'll bet very few people here know what goes on in their body when they sleep at night. Would you like to know what happens when you sleep at night? I thought, before I studied it, it's like the lights. You turn it off, you turn it back on. No. You know, sometimes you sleep well and you feel better when you wake up, and sometimes you sleep and you don't feel so good when you wake up. You feel sluggish. It's quality of sleep. What affects the quality of sleep are many things, not just the mattress, but includes the mattress. Now, what happens when you go to sleep tonight? Think about this when you put your head on the pillow. I'm a sleep expert, by the way. I've studied sleep my whole life. I'm a good sleeper, too. When you put your head on the pillow, if they put in an electroencephalogram, which is basically a series of sensors that can measure your brain wave patterns, your brain wave pattern right now is very alert. When you go into that stage, when you go from alert where you're still awake, but you're dozing off, that's called alpha, and your brain waves are slowing down. And then it goes to theta and delta. And delta sleep is slow and rhythmic brainwave pattern. Babies and kids have tremendous amount of delta sleep. Sleep researchers believe that's where rejuvenation and growth hormones are emitted. And right after delta sleep in the early stages of sleep is called REM. You've heard of REM. It stands for rapid eye movement. And what that means is, if you were asleep and I opened your eyes would be darting back and forth, up and down. That's where sleep dreams occur. Your body actually goes into a slightly paralytic state, so you won't act out your dreams and hurt yourself. And this sleep stages go every 90 minutes. Every 90 minutes. So the quality of your sleep is enhanced by the quality of your environment. You know what the best temperature to sleep at is? Anybody want to guess? It's actually around 65 degrees. You saying no? Too cold. Might be too cold for you. That's what sleep researchers say. Might be too cold for you. Dark window, close out, minimal light, etc. But my point is what affects your body on a mattress, and your mattress can impact the quality of your sleep. So everybody's a little different, but you have to find something that's comfortable, and if it contours like a waterbed contours optimally, Tempur-Pedics are extraordinary, but what happens is you don't have pressure points. The reason you toss and turn at night, if you sleep on a too firm mattress and you toss and turn all night, you're not going to sleep as well because that sleep cycle will get interrupted. Does that make sense? So when you choose your mattress, it's about comfort, but consider reducing pressure points on your body with more contouring. And waterbeds do it really well. But we just started reselling waterbeds, and that's a whole other story. I reintroduced waterbeds right now, we're reintroducing waterbeds. We're calling it a float. And I partnered with the original inventor of the waterbed, a guy I've known for a zillion years, Charlie Hall. He patented the waterbed in 1968. Spectacular designer and another supplier, but we don't have time for that. Waterbeds, not for everybody. I wouldn't trade mine for anything. So, little story about City Furniture. Started as Waterbed City, $4,000 as a bellman, opens a waterbed store, works hard, saves every penny. We invest in growing the business. Then we have to reinvent. City Furniture, change everything, get that stabilized, grow. Then recession hits. Take a couple of steps back, reorganize, and now there's another growth period. So one of the last messages I will share with you is there are cycles to life, there's cycles to sleep, and there's cycles to business. And you got to be prepared for them. Yes, sir.
I just bought a bunch of furniture that I just got into a new place, which was unfurnished, and I got some stuff online, and I got some stuff in Home Goods, I got some stuff in Target, and not once did I think about going to City Furniture.
Yeah, I get it.
And now I kind of regret it after hearing it.
I'm late.
And I was wondering, I think there's a lot of people like me who go on, and I went on OfferUp as well, got secondhand stuff, and
Yeah.
painted and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really expensive, it adds up.
yeah.
And we're young, and what you think you could do to kind of reach out to people? Like, I do city furniture and see it all the time, but to me in my head, it's too expensive. I don't want to go. So what would you
Good feedback. I appreciate hearing that.
I wanted you to hear it. And so what would you do for people like us, and people like me, in order to sort of reach out? Because I didn't think once because
Well,
there's all these other cheaper options.
yeah. So I'll get.
I don't know how expensive they are. You might be really cheap as well, but a lot of them because it's such
How much did you pay for your sofa? How much was the sofa? Did you buy a sofa?
well, it was free given by a friend.
It was free. Huh? I can't beat that. I can't beat that. You want to tell me? All right. What's the least amount? What's the least anybody thinks that you should pay for a decent sofa? How much?
Like $2.99 because that's
$2.99. When we started City Furniture in 1994, the least expensive, we were the lowest price guy in the market. The least expensive sofa we started in 1999 was 1994 was $2.99. That was the least expensive. Levitt's was started at $3.99 or $4.99. Rooms to Go was higher. We're bringing back 8 sofas at $2.99. Why? Because we want to appeal to millennials who are starting their first apartment and might be going to school for 2 or 3 years and they don't want lifetime. You don't want lifetime. You're probably not planning to keep that furniture forever, right? Tell me you're not going to keep it forever.
3 months and we still have chairs.
So we're trying to bring the product price options with style. They look pretty good. The first of them have come in. They're way better than what we offered 24 years ago. Can you believe that? What's cheaper than 24 years ago? I don't know. Furniture. But so the marketing, we're continuing to invest in our digital, but our marketing ad spend has to continue to be focused on you. Because truthfully, you're our target customer. Yes, sir.
Do you think tariffs would have any effect on your business?
And what's that?
Tariffs.
Tariff? Okay, tariffs. Yeah, taxes. They're extra taxes. Will they have prices? It might make a $2.99 sofa $3.29. It'll have some effect. The more you raise the price, the lower the demand. So I'm pushing not for none of that. Yes, sir, and then here, and then over there. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you. I'll go to you next. Yes, sir.
Before I say this, if you end up going through this, I want to get a little bit of a profit share. But have you ever considered doing like almost like GameStop, like buying back goods and kind of used?
I have considered that. The logistics. So the question is, we could sell more furniture if we could take old furniture and trade. Imagine if you bought a car and you couldn't trade in your old one. And that's the way it is with furniture, and it's a big obstacle. The challenge is technology and also we're working on that. And logistics, because maybe you think your sofa is a little bit more valuable than it actually is, and we got to work a deal out on that. So it's nobody's done it, but I want to go there, and I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, ma'am. What competition is Ikea? Oh, Ikea is unbelievable. I'm the biggest fan of Ikea. I was in Ikea last night. You kidding? I love Ikea. I think I didn't buy anything, but I go there and I see what they're doing. I got to compete with them, right? So now, if you want to put your furniture together, they're unbelievable. I was at Ikea. They have a service to deliver. We do free shipping. They have a service to deliver if you don't want to take it home. $59 to $119, depending upon where you live. If you buy $600 to $1,000 worth of furniture that you want assembled, they have a company called TaskRabbit that will come out to your home. Know what should they charge to assemble that furniture? If they charge you $59, one company is going to deliver it, and TaskRabbit will come out and assemble that furniture. I'll cut to the chase. It surprised me. $259 to assemble it. If you bought $1,000, it's $359. Our premium delivery for a whole room of furniture is $129. And free shipping gets it to the front door if you want to do all the work yourself. So, you know, it's competitive. It's a game of business. You just got to figure out how to compete. Everybody goes, I want to do it. Well, you got to. We're going to figure it out. How are we going to work it? Yes, ma'am. You guys are awesome. You got a ton of questions. I'm afraid I was boring you to tears. Okay, yes, ma'am. We'll just wrap it up in a couple of minutes, though, okay?
Okay. I saw a commercial for this couch that was like building blocks, and you could take it apart and reconfigure. Are you doing something like that?
Modular sofa. No, I haven't done that yet, but I've seen a few of them, so I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, sir.
Have you thought about investing in augmented reality so that online customers could use their device, their phones, and kind of check out the furniture in their...
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Augmented reality, AR, virtual reality, VR, artificial intelligence, AI, going to change the furniture business. And we're going to be on the freaking cutting edge. We partnered with Apple. Apple had our team present at the retail technology show called NRF. We were at Apple House, one of 5 companies. Actually, one of 4 companies, because one of them was Apple, along with Lowe's and a few other companies. And somebody was doing VR that was awesome, or AR. They were doing VR. But AR, here's what's going to happen. Everybody would like to have a nice room, right? But it's hard to figure it out, right? Wouldn't it be, right now you can take a picture, you can get a sofa and you can take a picture of your room and look at it, and it's fuzzy and it's hazy and it really is not very inspiring. So there's AR available right now. Augmenting the reality of your room, taking my sofa and putting it in your room virtually. Okay? Really what it needs to be, and the Apple people are going, yeah, that's where we're going. That's just where we're going. I said, what we want is we want to be able to take in the showroom, not on a little screen, but in a high definition screen, for you to be able to come in and either we virtually draw your room or you brought in a few pictures of your room. Download it, show me your room. Take out all the furniture. Let's start with paint. Are you interested in painting? No. Then we stay with your color. Yes, I'm interested in painting. Artificial intelligence. Here's Sherwin-Williams' top 5 colors. Here's Sherwin-Williams' top 5 paint colors. And here's their leading top 5. Oh, I like that gray. Oh, let me show you the next 5 gray. Oh, that dark gray is really good. Bingo. Pick it. And then you pick out this sectional or this sofa group. Say you were doing your living room. Put it in there. You want to see it with the shades? No, put it without the shades. Yeah, put the shades back in. Put an armless in. You want to see it in 4 colors? Run through the 4 colors. Okay, no, I like the light gray to go with the dark gray background. Now, let's show you the color palettes for some of the home accents. Area rugs. Here's the top 5 area rugs that can go with these colors. Here's the top 5 wall decor. Put it in there. Here's the top 3 coffee tables, end tables, lamps. Build your room where you would simply go, no, I don't like that one. No, I don't like that one. No, I don't like that one. Yeah, I like that one. Show me some other things like that one. Artificial intelligence will prompt and say, here's the next 3 like that. Oh, I like that wall decor, but you got anything else? I don't like that yellow in it. Artificial intelligence could be able to show us our entire lineup. So where artificial intelligence and virtual reality, augmented reality, are going to come together in the home furnishings industry and allow everyone to come up with their own personalized room at very affordable prices and be able to see the cost immediately. Up to now, you got to trust a designer to come up with a good plan or do it yourself. And both are good options, but this will be better. So it's really exciting opportunity. 2 or 3 years away. Within 3 years, we will have the best AI, AR in the industry. I'll bet. Or I hope. One last question, anybody? Yes, yes, sir. I'll come back there.
I've been seeing a lot of things on small living spaces, just because everything's getting so expensive. And
Yeah?
spaces seem to be
Yeah?
shrinking.
Yes.
What are you doing to address that potential trend in the market in terms of like Murphy beds and different modular furniture?
So the question is, small spaces. There's a trend towards smaller spaces. I was in a room in Ikea, and they had a house in 294 square feet. And they had 2 guys living in this 294, I showed a picture of 2 guys. But it was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't bad. So the reality is we've got to scale down furniture. As things get more vertical, as land gets more expensive, you're going to be privileged if you have bigger furniture, and we got to react to that in terms of that. Last question for this nice lady.
You said your brother started by cutting the beds behind the store.
We started by cutting the waterbed frames, the wood frames behind the store with a Sears skill saw that we burned out about every 2 weeks and took it back and got a new one.
Where is it done now? All of the furniture, is it like from one place?
Furniture is a global industry. Like your apparel, it comes from all over. Most of the wood furniture we buy from Asia, particularly Vietnam and China. Upholstery comes, we have a factory in Mississippi, our Kevin Charles brand, all American fabrics, all American factory, everything USA made. We do what is right in the USA, what should be done in the USA, and we do globally what should be done globally. So mostly Asia, about half and half Asia versus the United States. Most mattresses are made in the United States because it's quick to ship. Thank you. Good question.
If I can wrap up, I know that we're so grateful for Keith to come and spend time with us. He's one of the great leaders here in South Florida. Great friends with other people that have been here, Jordan Zimmerman, and the guy where you're sitting in Phil Smith Hall. I believe these two together did a lot of things there, created great businesses, Phil in the automotive industry, Keith in the furniture industry. But these are the guys that really help create jobs for a lot of other people. They've pursued their dreams in this country and their opportunity. As he says, it's a land of opportunity. Whatever you guys want to do, that's your dream. But join me in thanking him for spending time with us. And sharing